So what the president was looking for from the get-go, which he very well disguised, was basically a layer on top of the 1951 agreement, giving the U.S. a longer-term commitments from Denmark and from the EU to get access or continued access to that stuff on the ground. What do you think?
Hey, good to be back with you. So I'd say two things. First, Europeans high-fiving each other here, I think, is a complete misreading of the situation. What happened was that Europe got incredibly lucky because yields globally spiked. That had nothing to do with Europe. It was all about Japan, Japan's election, and Japan's prime minister saying she wants to back away from austerity. And that, because of Liberation Day, Martin, as you know, has some bad muscle memory with President Trump. And so perhaps that is the reason that he backed off of Europe. So there was a confluence of factors here that really helped the Europeans out. Do I think the Europeans have any strength in negotiating with the United States? No, none whatsoever. We've talked about sanctions in the past, the weakness that Europe has because of its dependence on the U.S. for Ukraine. The Europeans basically have no hand. On the second point, I think you're totally right. This is about rare earths, the minerals that are underground in Greenland. I think that chapter is far from being written. All of this, I think, is completely in flux. You obviously have a population in Greenland which is concerned about environmental degradation and fallout. How exactly the rights of those people will be protected versus mining and extracting those minerals, I think that is going to be the sticking point, and that will have to be negotiated.
Robin, I got to ask you, I mean, what we saw was, we were on the verge of a total fracture of the whole transatlantic relationship, right? And one guest earlier on was saying that one key takeaway and lesson we can learn from this is, look, Europe counting on the U.S. for defense after Trump's threats, etc., even boots on the ground and a military option at one stage, even if it was just rhetoric, right? It's going to speed up Europe going, look, guys, we got to take care of ourselves, right? And push defense as a percentage of GDP spending well north of 5%, and he thinks that may even happen within the next 12 months. Do you think it's going to be that accelerated? And if so, what would that mean for fiscal positions, for European yields, and for the single currency?
So, first of all, I don't share this kind of apocalyptic interpretation that the Europeans have. And let's just look at the facts. There are many things that President Trump has done which I don't agree with, but he did sanction Russia's two biggest oil producers back in October and November, Rosneft and Lukoil. Those sanctions have had a huge impact on Russia. The price of Urals oil, which is the main form of crude that Russia exports, it is trading at the biggest discount relative to Brent ever. It's down 42% relative to Brent. That's huge. It really depresses the Kremlin's revenues. So I think a lot of these conclusions in Europe are facile, they're emotional, and Europe, in my preference would be that European leaders don't get caught up in that. Now, Europeans have, by all accounts, been free riding on the U.S. security umbrella. They need to spend more. They will. I think Germany will do that. Germany has fiscal space, Martin, as you know. Does the rest of Europe have fiscal space? No. If you look at data from the Kiel Institute, a German university, they have this amazing database where they compile all aid from different European countries to Ukraine. Italy gives nothing. Spain gives nothing. France gives very little. The fact is, a lot of these countries have no fiscal firepower whatsoever. They can't rearm. Germany can pay for them, but I highly doubt that Germany is willing to do that.